and might be un-American as well. It's an interesting argument. We're going to have that argument tonight here on CNN in a special segment we're preparing as a result of this action on Christmas Day. It'll be on at 8 o'clock. Meanwhile, back to this new message posted on the web today from a group that's calling itself Al-Qaida in the Arabian Peninsula. It's about this man, again, Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalib. He's 23 years old. He's from Nigeria. There's this picture once again on the phone right now. Our senior editor for Mideast Affairs, Octavia Nasser. Octavia, you there with us?
Yes, Rick, I'm here.
Thanks
and, it is a claim of responsibility that was posted on the same Islamist websites, the radical Islamist websites that we monitor on a regular basis, and you and I have talked about it so many times. So that's what makes us believe that it is authentic. It is coming from that group, Al-Qaida, in the Arabian Peninsula, that really involves Yemen, Saudi Arabia, and neighboring countries. We've heard from this group many times before, and now they're claiming responsibility.
But let me ask you a question that I think a lot of people might be interested in. Certainly I am. The fact that Yemen seems to be upset, and when I say that, I don't mean about the government of Yemen, but I mean some of these forces, some of these dark forces within Yemen. The fact that they seem to be upset with the United States and are now putting out these proclamations, you know, I almost see that as a good thing. I almost see that as them saying we're angry that you might be having an effect on us. How am I possibly wrong there?
Well, what it is that the border between Yemen and Saudi Arabia is a hot zone right now. Clashes going on between rebel groups called the Houthis and the Yemeni forces and Saudi forces. And they're pounding, the Yemeni forces are pounding these rebel locations on a daily basis. So basically, yes, this is a response to that. Now, the claim itself says that they believe the U.S. is aiding the Yemeni government in its fight against the Houthis and the Al-Qaida.
Good. You see, this is the point that I'm trying to make, Octavia. The terrorists weren't in Iraq. We know that now. There was really a small band of them along with the Mujahideen, which became the Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, as we know. But we have known for 10 years now that these really bad terrorists, the guys we really should have been going after a long time ago, are in Yemen. We knew that a long time ago. So the fact that we are now seemingly, or the U.S. government seemingly now is putting an emphasis on there, and that some of these folks there are mad at us for putting an emphasis there, I can't help but see that finally as the United States may be going militarily in the right direction in this war on terror.
You're right about Al-Qaeda being everywhere, Rick. It is very true. And this is the Al-Qaeda of modern times, let's say. This is Al-Qaeda that is not centralized anymore. It doesn't rotate around Osama bin Laden and Ayman Zawahiri alone. These are like franchise groups, local groups. So yes, in Yemen you have Al-Qaeda in Saudi Arabia. You also have them in North Africa. You have them in Iraq, as you said. You have them in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And you have them also elsewhere as sympathizers of Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. So nowadays, you have these groups that will carry out attacks in the name of Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda will claim responsibility and will take their work exactly as we saw in this statement. Immediately, they embraced the guy and hailed him as a hero who carried out a heroic attack. But the most important thing, I think, about this statement is what they talk about when they mention the bomb, the explosives. They say that they created a new kind of explosive and they tested it. They tested it passing through security, and they tested it on the plane. So they say although there was a malfunction at the end and the attack was not carried out completely, but they see it as a success just because they passed through security and they were able to carry it out as far as they were able to.
We're going to be talking a lot about PETN, not only now but also during our 8 o'clock show tonight, so stay tuned to this. And let us only hope and cross our fingers that this organization somehow left a way that we can trace them, some kind of calling card with this message that we've received here at CNN within the last hour or so. Octavia Nasser, thanks a lot for your insight and input on this still developing story. Lots to talk about today, including a look at this explosive he reportedly tried to use. Once again, see that right there? That's the PETN that I've been talking about. It's almost like nitroglycerin. You only need a little bit. Several ounces, they say, can almost blow up an entire car. I want to show you a video example of what we're talking about. Watch this. That was just a tiny bit of the stuff, but here's the worst part. PETN is very difficult to detect. By the way, I should probably tell you what you're watching here. I guess that would be important, right? This is, Angie, help me out here. This is part of an experiment that one of our correspondents has done, right? I know it looks kind of puny, looks like a firecracker or something. It's not. It's going to be part of a larger explanation that we're going to give you later on in this newscast. Also, if you don't swab it, use a dog to detect it, or an image scanner, or a puffer machine, most of which are used on luggage but not on passengers, you won't even know it's there. Here's another important question. Why wasn't Abdul Muttalib placed on a no-fly list, or at least some kind of watch list, after his father told authorities that his son was capable of becoming a suicide bomber? And now today's huge development. Abdul Muttalib has admitted that he was being trained in a very place that the Obama administration has been hitting hard for the last several weeks now. We're talking about Yemen once again. Yemen is going to come into play here a lot. It's seen here on this map that we've put together for you. There it is. Once again at the heart of the war on terror, and once again worth taking a close look at. Here to do that for us now, CNN's Pentagon correspondent, Barbara Starr.
In Yemen, eulogies for those killed in a recent airstrike on al-Qaeda hideouts. U.S. officials privately acknowledge they've provided secret intelligence on several al-Qaeda targets to Yemen's government, but won't say if U.S. fighter jets or armed drones were involved. All of this happened before the suspect in the attack against Northwest Airlines Flight 253 claimed he traveled to Yemen and was given bomb-making materials there, a claim that has the U.S. worried. Al-Qaeda in Yemen has already been the focus of secret U.S. military and intelligence operations for months. General David Petraeus sounded a warning about Yemen earlier this year.
That's where al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has established its headquarters. This is a concern.
And with tribal rebel movements on the rise in Yemen, the central government can't fully control the country. Al-Qaeda has found a new safe haven.
There is a very real sense that the central government is losing control over most of the country, that al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is setting up bases hosted among tribes.
Look at the map and you see the potential for disaster. Al-Qaeda operatives in Yemen are within striking distance of Saudi oil facilities. Hundreds of cargo ships pass the coastline each year. They come through the Suez Canal in one direction and the Indian Ocean in another, ripe targets for attacks. The bottom line, experts say, Al-Qaeda in Yemen may now be able to attack the United States.
The important thing here is if indeed this does lead back to the Yemen cell, most of the attacks that we've seen in the past have been in Yemen or in Saudi Arabia. The Yemeni affiliate there has not been able to do out-of-area operations like Al-Qaeda Central on the Afghan-Pakistan border, and this would represent an out-of-area operation and a significant one.
U.S. officials won't talk about their involvement in the airstrikes because the goal now is to make it look like the Yemenis are in the forefront. But make no mistake, officials say Yemen needs U.S. help to fight al-Qaeda, and time is of the essence. Barbara Starr, CNN, Washington.